What's good, guys? I'm John the Chief, and for today's video, it is the point of contact world record on Xbox One. We ended up getting around a 792,000, and I was running support. This is the loadout that we used. Me and Volt both had double class. He was weapon specialist medic, and I was tank weapon specialist. I was running random supplies. That was a big thing, but if you want to get a high score on this run, I recommend using the same list that we use. So I would go back and pause the screen and copy that loadout. So for the first hive, what we do is that we drop money next to the relic run. That way he can spam ferals, and that builds up teamwork. Whenever you pick up money, you are getting a piece of teamwork, because teamwork is split into 3 different parts. Kills or damage, whatever you want to call it, nobody going down, and 10 total pickups slash drops. So what you're going to want to do is that if you have your whole entire team going and dropping you money right in front of you, you pick all that up. That's 3 things. Then you use that money and basically buy ferals for free. So that's 3 more things. So that's 6 things, and only 3 people lost $1,000. So that's a really good way to save money and get perfect teamwork. So next part is, after you do the first hive, you farm kills on scouts, because you're gonna need these scout kills in order to get maximum score, because you're not gonna get enough money off these scouts if you're just doing regular hives to get your total 10 drops, because they don't spawn fast enough and they don't give you enough cash. So what we do is that we farm until everybody has $6,000, and it just takes quite a bit of time. This will take in total 30 minutes, so I'm going to cut most of that out. But it takes a while just farming. So you waste a lot of time on these score runs, but you gotta do what you gotta do in order to actually achieve perfection. Because point of contact is a perfect map. You gotta be perfect throughout the whole entire game. So you're gonna need to farm scouts in order to get the perfect score. And I use the VKS usually because it speeds it up. It allows me to get more money through it, and plus I can immediately start finding attachments, because you want an arc and you want extended mags on your guns. So once you all have a 6,000, you usually do this hive first, and you want a grenade turret. So you put a grenade turret down for the guy, and he can clear the field before the challenge even starts. So that way there's no aliens attacking the drill, and he won't be hurting the accuracy. Because the big thing is that on the first hive, on the second hive, you'll be getting either 75% accuracy challenge or do not go into last stand. If it's do not go into last stand, you don't need to worry about anything. But if it's 75% accuracy challenge, the trick is that usually you will throw a flare out into the open and build up that accuracy greatly, so that way he will be able to shoot his grenade turret a little bit, get the damage and kills that he needs, and it will just work out really well in the end. We ended up wasting 2 flares, so that was kind of our fuck up, but flares don't really matter that much because I have random supplies. That is the point of random supplies, to bring it into a high score run. We typically only do this for Awakening, point of contact, and Nightfall. Nightfall and point of contact is a must-have though. On Awakening, we usually get shit luck with the random supplies. They don't give us that many trophy systems and flares, but it's very important for point of contact and Nightfall, because those trophy systems help his personal skill be perfect, because on point of contact, it is a perfect map. You can't be losing any score. By the time we started the cabin, once we got in there, Assault Clutch lost less than 800 score in total throughout the whole entire first and second area. He barely lost any score whatsoever. I mean, that is how perfect you gotta be. Like, you gotta be entirely perfect, flawless. Like, you fail a challenge, you're restarting the run. That's a failed run. You're not gonna get the world record if you fail a challenge. So there we go. You could see also how we drop money for him constantly, because it's very important that he has constant money drops, because you gotta get those 10 drops. And the way to be the most effective with your money count is by dropping him money and then letting him use that money to buy something, because that's 2 things of teamwork and only 1 person's losing money. So that is why it's the best way in order to actually maintain perfect teamwork. So you could see he barely lost any score on that, even with a little bit of drill protection touch. But that is in total around 140 score loss that he got, I think. No, it was a little bit more. But in total right now, he already lost about 438 scores, so that is not completely bad. But that just goes to show how much score we lose on the next few areas. Like, we're making sure that he's getting everything flawlessly. So we're making sure that he has constant armor, he has constant money, he's getting perfect teamwork, perfect personal skill, and we're guarding that drill for him. We give him constant grenade turrets because we need to make sure that he has enough grenade turrets to be get those high scores. Another trick for damage on that run also is that what we use is that you can see my sentry gun was on that trap. You put the sentry gun on that trap facing the drill. It'll help guard your drill, and then the electric trap will zap anything that goes on the sentry gun, and you make the relic guy activate this trap, so that trap will be doing damage, killing scouts, and those kills adds up to his teamwork score, so that way he can have the maximum teamwork. Because you need him having all the easiest ways possible to do damage, especially since it'll 75% accuracy. When you have that challenge, it's going to be really annoying in order to actually get perfect teamwork, because he can hardly shoot any grenade turret shots. Because every grenade turret shot, you have to shoot 3 successful bullets into scouts in order to actually counteract that. Now, this is an easy challenge. What we had was 2 grenade turrets over here. One was a backup and one was for him. But what I decided to do was that I grabbed onto the second grenade turret, and I'm using that to just watch the drill, because no one else is able to shoot. So he's going to be spawn killing, while I'm just making sure nothing gets by and gets on the actual drill, because we need to maintain 100% drill protection. We tried to make sure that we had almost 100 drill protection every single hive. It is very important to try and have 100 drill protection on every single hive, because otherwise you're going to start losing score, and drill protection is the biggest source of score and point of contact. Like a few hits on that drill and then boom, the run is over. So especially once we start getting trophies and scorpions start spawning, you're going to want to make sure you have 1 trophy on the relic runner and 1 trophy on the actual drill, because sometimes scorpions like to go and change their targeting, and they'll go after the drill instead. They shoot 1 shot at the drill, that's like 3 damage on that drill, and boom, that is almost 1,000 score loss sometimes. And that score is, you can't be losing that easily. You want to do whatever you can to avoid that. So now that it's over, I can grab onto, let go of that grenade turret, let him use it, and I can just keep tossing that money and do what I need to do. Again, I use the BKS mainly in the first area just to get money. It helps a lot with the money in the long run, because you're getting 50% more cash, and that cash is desperate. You're desperate for that, because otherwise you'll be wasting a lot of time. Because what normally people do is that between every hive, they restack their money back to 6,000 for everybody, and in my opinion, that's wasting time. And you don't want to be wasting too much time on scoring, because if shit goes south, you want to have to restart. You want to make sure you have enough time to restart. So that is it for the first area. Same thing what we're going to be doing for the next hive. It will just be the exact same process. We give him the best camping spot, we cover him, we watch that drill, we give him money, and then boom, he'll have another perfect hive. That was a flawless hive that he had, and he didn't lose any score. So his total score loss is still around 432. So he is doing really well still. The big thing though was that he lost some score on the first hive. It is hard to get a perfect first hive really, because in theory you need kills, you need money, you need support drops. Like, the personal skill and the drill protection is the easy part. The hard part is being able to do enough damage and being able to pull off all the drops. So it's not realistic. That's like a guaranteed at least 200 to 300 scores sometimes lost, depending on the situation. But it doesn't really matter that much in the long run, because that's a guaranteed score loss for almost everybody. So you just gotta think, what do you have over your competitors? But almost everybody's gonna be lacking in that area, so I don't think that it would be much of a worry. So we like to place the grenade turret on this corner for this spot. We usually have 2 for every single drill. One is a backup, that way we don't need to worry. So when he says 1 is out, me and I don't know who's the other grenade turret runner. I think it's This Is It, or Brandon. I'll probably refer to him to Brandon throughout the run, but This Is It is Brandon, and his brother is Jared. His old gamertag was Brandon Swag You, so I'm used to calling him Brandon because that was his original gamertag. But so what he does is that he'll have the other grenade turret, and as soon as Assault Clutch runs out of one of the grenade turrets, we'll both click left on our D-pad and see which one's missing, and then as soon as we see that, we'll go and put one down. So that way Assault Clutch will always have a grenade turret to be able to be used, and it will maximize his efficiency, so that way he can always be killing at any point in time. He doesn't need to be waiting for one of us to run over to him and put down a grenade turret for him. So my job was mainly throughout this run was simply just to guard the drill. My only job was to guard the drill. So during the whole entire run, I'll be camping by the drill basically, because I want to make sure that we have flawless drill protection. So when we finally get to the second area, I'm going to be running the Bulldog with an arc and extended mags on it, so I'll be able to make sure nothing touches it. The only thing that could ever get close would be a Scorpion or touching it, and that would just be unfortunate, but we would always have a trophy system on it, so that I'll make sure that never happens. And then that'll be it for the first area, except for the helicopter fight, so hope you guys are ready for that. So now I'm back. So the barrier hive is going to be starting soon. I'm going to be doing this throughout the run because when things start getting repetitive and there are parts where there isn't much to talk about, it's mainly just waiting for the hive to be over because it will go perfect usually throughout the whole entire run. There shouldn't be many mistakes that are happening. So I'm going to be doing this a lot where I'm going to just take a break to catch some breath, take a sip of water, and come back to the commentary. So basically during this part what we did was that I had the sentry gun helping face him, so that way it'll lure the scouts to the other side. We'll have grenade turrets on this area, and what will happen is that we'll send 2 people to be running over there and make the scorpions attack them. Now on a barrier hive you're going to need about 20 drops instead of 10. It's not like the usual hive where you need 10 in order to maximize teamwork. On a barrier hive you want 20. So what we're doing is that we're going to be doing money swaps during a bit of this, and that'll help us build our teamwork. You see how we're letting the scorpion stay up there? We want the helicopter to go down. With the most recent update when Exodus came out, what ended up happening is that the helicopter does a ton more damage to the barrier hive, and so if you do not let the scorpions take down the helicopter, what will end up happening is that the helicopter will just plow right through that barrier hive, and you won't have enough time to get your 20 drops in or get enough kills to get perfect teamwork, and that will really damage your run in total, because on these hives it is worth a ton more score than it is basically double the amount of score it previously was, so you want to make sure that it's always being perfect. And you see how as soon as it starts evading we get Volatile Epic Volt and Brandon to come back here, drop money for him, because we need us to have constant money. Maybe drop armor if Assault got hit, but Assault barely gets hit during this run. We managed to protect him and the drill really well during this run, so props to the team. It was a really good game. Took us a couple of tries. This was one of the hardest runs to do. The hardest runs for us was the Nightfall regular, both Exodus scores, and the Point of Contact regular. These were the hardest runs. And because they're perfectionists, you gotta be up on top of it. Awakening only took 2 tries. Mayday took 3 tries. These took like around 6. So they were very hard runs. a lot of simple stuff could screw up the game entirely. Like, when we first kept trying this, we were trying to figure out how to get the perfect score in the barrier hive, because it was very hard with the most recent update, because before, you could wait here, and you can make this barrier hive last 20 minutes easily without even having to do anything. All you have to do is stay back here. But the helicopter has more defense now, so it takes a lot more hits for it to go down, and plus it does more damage, so that barrier hive goes down a lot faster than it used to. It can do that with only evading once, so we try to control the evading by continuously making it evade by having two teammates stay up there, because that'll cause to lure scorpions over there, because it'll see, hey, there's a helicopter and two enemies over there, so we're gonna go and stay by that side instead of stay by the two enemies over here. If all four of us were camping over here where I am with Assault Clutch, what will end up happening is that the scorpions will swarm towards four of us instead, because they're like, why would we only attack the helicopter if there's four people that we could attack right here? So we gotta manipulate the AI as much as we can to try and make sure that this we have the most amount of time on this helicopter. This is not a worry on the second barrier hive, because during the second barrier hive, the scorpion spawns are a lot faster, there's a lot more enemies, and you'll have a lot more money by then, so that way you can get perfect teamwork a lot faster, and it's not much of a worry. Even if there's a couple rhinos that spawn in the second barrier hive, it is not much of a worry, because we have armor piercing ammo, which is my favorite ammo to use for score runs usually, by the way. We use armor piercing rounds for every single map, except for Exodus Regular. On Exodus Regular, we try, oh my god, excuse me, we try experimenting with different methods to actually kill the enemies, because we were kind of struggling with the ancestor kills on 4-player. It was a little bit hard for us, but we figured out a way to do it, so it was a different strategy. Exodus had the weirdest strategy of them all, but yeah, that's how it worked. So it's evading for the third time. If you can't do this right, it takes a little bit of practice for doing this barrier hive right, but what will end up happening is that you'll eventually get perfect. But it is a little bit of a tough one, because on the first couple of times, what ended up happening was that it didn't evade at all. It just took all those scorpions hits. We kept killing them, which was our kind of stupid idea, and we lost a ton of scores. So we had to instantly restart because of that, because we knew that we wouldn't get the #1 spot if with that crappy barrier hive that we had. So as soon as the barrier hive is over, Assault Clutch will have perfect teamwork, and the only thing he'll be lacking in is maybe personal skill if he got hit by a scout. But I try to make sure that he wasn't hit at all, because I have ferals constantly because of him. And I could see all enemies are coming for him, and that was another perfect hive. So now we're going to be entering the second area. The second area, we're going to have trophies because we can actually search all the boxes. We're going to get a lot more attachments. We're going to have better guns for all the situations, and it'll be overall a better outcome, and we'll have a smoother time. During this whole entire second area, I finally get my bulldog first thing, and my job was simply to make sure nothing touches the drill. The only time I ever leave drill watch was for planting a grenade turret for assault or throwing down random supplies, but my eyes were always on the drill. A big thing about score runs though is the challenges. You want to make sure you have proper challenges. Sometimes if you get an unlucky challenge, it will actually kill the score run entirely, and you'll have to cause a restart. Like a leopard challenge in the second area, a lot of the time it'll go out of the map in a place where it's impossible to hit him, because usually it likes to go in one of the buildings behind at the barrier hive, but it'll go in the back building, so the only way to actually hit it is through a Trinity rocket or a lucky Semtex throw. So this challenge is relatively easy, because Assault Clutch is going to be on the grenade turret the whole entire run, for the whole entire hive, so he can easily get 10 kills. 10 kills should come naturally for him. And my job was just still guarding that drill. If anything gets close, I could activate my tank ability to lure them away. We could be constantly chucking flares to help with this. But right after I maxed out class, I think the next thing I'm going into is random supplies, because you want +2 random supplies. We don't need +4. +4 is not needed in order to get more flares and more trophies. We found +2 was luckier with us. Even though it says you get rare supplies through +4, we just feel luckier with +2. So that's why we always stuck with +2 random supplies for all our runs. It's just a feeling of luck. I have no way to prove it whatsoever, because again, it is a chance factor. It would involve me just playing like 100 games at each one with random supplies and just keep throwing it out and seeing what it determines. But again, it's luck. There's no way to 100% confirm it. So we're just going off a gut feeling. And this is what we feel like, and what we've seen is that it's better. Plus, at +4 random supplies, we constantly get bouncing betties. And we kind of don't want bouncing betties in the run, because if you don't know, if you put bouncing betties by the drill, what will end up happening is that if a scorpion shoots the drill, the bouncing betty will explode and do damage to your drill. It's the only way for your drill to be damaged by a bouncing betty is if the scorpion shoots it, or a rhino actually ground pounds it. That's actually another way I forgot to mention, is if a rhino ground pounds his slam, it kind of does a AoE effect, area of effect hit, and basically it's just gonna destroy the bouncing betty. It will trigger it, and then it will hurt the drill, and it does approximately 25 damage, so that is quite a lot. It will kill the run instantaneously. Another reason why I'm tank is because I like the extra health. That way, if I'm getting pelted by shit, because I am in the front, I am guarding that drill. A lot of the time, my back is to their spawns, and I'm relying on Assault Clutch guarding me as I'm guarding the drill. So it's like a chain of guarding each other. My teammates are guarding him, he's guarding me, and I'm guarding the drill, and that kind of helped out a lot. This was another perfect tie for him. Nothing was able to touch him, and he got perfect teamwork and perfect personal skill because of that. Now I can start specking into my random supplies, so I can start chucking them out, and I stopped dropping him that much money. I rely on more Volt and Brandon to be dropping him money. That way he can be getting the perfect teamwork, and I'll be driving mostly random supplies to make sure he gets trophy systems and flares, because it's very important to get a lot of trophy system and flares. It helps out a lot on the run to get trophy systems and flares, and they really help out for a lot of the stupid challenges. Like if you got trap kills in the 3rd area, that'll be hell on earth if you don't have a flare. So we wanted to make sure that we were able to do that. Now this hive is tricky. We use the solo spot for this. We camp at that back corner. This is also the spot that we use for the second barrier hive. Again, we're constantly dropping money. Another way that we work with money is that since he's running a lot of relics, he earns a lot of money at the end of every hive. So what we do is that we force him to drop his money, because all our money is going back to him in the end. So might as well fill our money up. So if he drops 1,000 for 2,000 for us in total before the hive actually starts, we pick up his money, then we drop it back for him. And instead of just using our original money to just throw ferals like he was going to, what ends up happening is that that money instead is going to him, that he's gonna pick up. So that's another thing, and then throw the ferals. So that means he's doubling the teamwork that he would have gotten instead of just throwing the ferals naturally. So that's why he gets rid of the money at the beginning of every single hive. So for this challenge, I'm just gonna stay here prone, have my back to my enemies. Unfortunately, the hunter actually got hit, so I realized I need ferals because I could not see that hunter because of the smoke. So that kind of hurt my ability to protect the drill, because it came out of nowhere, but I could have guarded it if the actual grenade turret didn't cause so much smoke when it exploded, because I was completely blind without ferals. So ferals are very important for guarding the drill. We decided not to upgrade the grenade turret to +4. Assault Clutch likes it better at +3. In addition, the +3 grenade turret doesn't cause any smoke when you fire it. If you fire a +4 grenade turret, it fires fire rockets. And those fire rockets, what they do is that it causes a whole stream of smoke. So if you're spamming it, because you have to spam it, what will end up happening is that you're just creating a huge cloud of smoke over the field, and it becomes really hard to see for everybody. And that kind of hurts the team a little bit because we don't know what's happening. Again, you can see the way I'm working is that I'm just staring at the drill. I'm not moving much. My whole entire eye is on the drill the whole entire game. I want to make sure that nothing's happening to it except for a few moments, and you gotta be using a lot of communication. Like, if anything's happening, you gotta make sure everybody knows. You gotta make call-outs. A big thing is call-outs. So when I know I have to put down a grenade turret or pick up ferals, what will end up happening is that I'll call either Volt or Brandon to watch the drill as I'm picking up pharaohs, because we always want someone on drill duty. Seekers are again a huge issue because they do explosions, and if they come to one of us as we're guarding that drill, or to him, that's gonna knock off a huge amount of damage to either drill protection or to his personal skill if he gets hit. So it's very important to be watching those meteor spawns, and you gotta chase after them if you have to, depending on the hive. On this hive especially, mainly because it's a little bit in the middle of the field, so they can all the meteors can come from anywhere, so that's what we're watching out for. With my +2 random supplies, I'm just going to be throwing them out constantly soon, just to make sure that we have enough trophy systems. It ends up helping us out a lot on the last hive. It is very important to have the last hive perfect, because it is still worth a ton of score. The third area is where you're going to lose most of your score, because damage becomes a huge issue, because there's not many good traps, the spawns are a little bit slow, and it's kind of hard to do it. Third area is a little bit weird for some reason for us. But, yeah, that's basically it, mostly for the second area. The next hive is a very easy hive. It goes really smoothly. The challenge, I'm not totally sure what it is, but the challenge greatly affects how well you can do. We set them up in this corner. We make sure everybody has flares. Since we all have flares because of the random supplies, we're constantly throwing out more than we need to. And we can constantly be wasting it, because it is really nice having those +2 random supplies. They help out a ton on score runs. We gotta thank Assault Clutch for teaching us that. We did not know about that about score runs, that having random supplies helps out a ton. So this challenge is relatively easy. We're not scared of that. All that we ask is that for the armor thrower, which I believe is Volt, to constantly be throwing that out, because you're going to want constant armor throughout this run. If you don't know, they had an update where if you have armor and you're not running the take more damage relic, you will not fail this challenge. So we try to avoid any relics that will actually hurt our ability to play. So take more damage is a big one, because take more damage causes this challenge to be an easy fail. So our whole entire goal was mainly to not protect ourselves from the Seekers, but to protect actually Assault from the Seekers. Because we weren't scared at all of us actually losing the challenge because of one of us getting hit, because we should all constantly be having armor. And there are a few ways for us to get rid of the armor. After all, we theoretically should not be getting hit much at all. Our goal is to kill everything before they can get even close to us, and more importantly, kill everything before they get close to Assault or Drill. For this run, challenge, we also focused heavily on throwing out Pharaoh so we can see everything ahead of time. So like this, I could go and charge everything right away. I also abuse the tank ability that allows me to be invincible that way to make sure, because this is still kind of sketchy how this works, because sometimes you fail it, sometimes you don't fail the challenge, even if you have armor or not. So now we're on the barrier hive. Assault Clutch is doing really well on his score. He is barely losing anything whatsoever. I think he loses a bit on personal skill on this hive, mainly because it is hard to actually guard yourself from all the scorpions and everything. We try to lure enemies as far away from him as possible. We try to set up sentry guns that help confuse the AI to go after the sentry gun instead of him, because it's very important to make sure that he does not get hit. Especially if he loses armor. That's why we focus heavily on armor on this run. That way he will never have to worry about it. Also on this run, we try to focus on traps a lot and money swaps, because these traps help out with the guarding of the hunters really well. We want to make sure hunters get far away from him. He can hit everything really well from that spot, except for this truck, so we try to make sure nothing really goes too close on the truck, because that will actually, for some reason, they can hit him even though he can't see them. Also, on one of the walls of the buildings, what will end up happening is that the cryptids will be able to hit him even though he can't see them. So you gotta be always watching out for that. But other than that, this could usually be a smooth barrier hive. Also, you gotta let a couple of scorpions actually kill the helicopter, because the helicopter will kill that barrier hive faster than you can get perfect teamwork, and it will hurt the run a shit ton in the long run. Now, you see where I'm standing is to make sure the Seekers don't go after him. I am standing here as a human test dummy because since I'm a tank, I am very unlikely to get down. And a big thing about teamwork is no teammates going down. Otherwise, you have to do a lot of extra drops in order to cancel out the down, which can be really annoying greatly. Notice how often I can get good equipment out of these random supplies. I have a flare to waste already. I try and make sure not to throw out random supplies as long as I don't have one of those tacticals equipped. So we try to use them as much as possible because we know we're gonna get more no matter what. And whenever enemies get close where I get scared about them being able to hit assault, what will end up happening is I quickly activate my tank ability to make sure that no one can hurt him. That was the whole point of me running the actual Bulldog, is because the Bulldog is a very powerful weapon at close range. It can almost instantly kill most enemies that get near him, so I don't need to worry about anything that goes after him. Unfortunately, I was unable to find a actual extended mags this run. I thought I did, but guess I didn't. Either way, the most important thing is that you have an arc on your gun, or actually just the Bulldog itself. The Bulldog is an extremely powerful weapon on Weapons Specialist, so you want to make sure you abuse the hell out of it. Notice that whenever I know a Seeker's spawning on that side, what will end up happening is that I just camp over there and wait for the actual Seekers to get close and I could kill it. But I'm making sure that they explode on me out of the blast range of Assault, because I don't want Assault getting hit at all. The trophy systems help a lot with the Scorpions not being able to hit them. And that is basically all I have to say for the rest of this barrier hive. So after that barrier hive ended and all the searching that we did, we're going to start up this hive. We make sure the sentry guns that we already have ready are waiting in this position because we had an unfortunate event on one of these runs where we got a leopard challenge on this hive, and what ended up fucking us over was that one of the sentries killed it, and on POC that is a instant fail. That leopard gets killed by a sentry gun, that's an instant fail. So if you ever had that mysterious event where you see a leopard, you try to kill it, and all of a sudden it says challenge failed, that's most likely because a sentry gun or a vulture or something of that sort, like a strike package that's not the Trinity rocket, killed the leopard. So we have flares, so we're kind of spamming out flares because that way I could actually use my random supplies for what they're worth. We try and make sure someone always has a flare at every given moment. Usually we want assault to always have a flare also in addition. But basically this had to do for us. For this we typically enjoyed it. We typically used the flare to let assault get a lot of kills and a lot of damage. While we're mainly going to be ready for that rhino when it pops up. But you could see 2 people threw out flares and I still have a flare on me. Like, that is how many flares we're getting. Like, we're getting a crap ton of flares. So having flares is the least of our worries because we're getting so many out of these random supplies. Random supplies is a must-have for these score runs on POC and Nightfall. Not as useful on Mayday because you don't have any scorpions and you don't have too many rhinos, so Mayday is not too big a worry, but on this map you're gonna want it because scorpions just flood the map, and flares also make it a lot easier for you to guard that drill, and in addition the flares help distract all the enemies, which allows the relic runner to get the easy kills. And that was basically a perfect tie with a little bit off of personal skill for him. So far this game, he has lost about slightly less than 1,000 score in total. So for this one, we gave him 2 grenade turret spots. One a little bit out there in the front, so that way he could use that to spawn kill. And the second one is in case that one gets scorpion gassed on, so he has something to go back on and still be able to use the grenade turret. Because that is a concern when on this these 2 hives, whether it's this hive or the one on the right, you get one or the other, and depending on what one you get, you're likely to get gassed on. Both of them, there's a very high chance that you're going to get a scorpion gassed on, and we typically do this strategy. This challenge was no worry for us. All we do is plant a couple of sentry guns, and this will be easy completed challenge. So we're getting a good set of challenges so far. The only challenge that we actually had trouble with was the very last drill and the next drill. Those 2 gave us a little bit of a run for our money. But we managed to get through with it, would still pull some pretty decent scores out. So you could see the amount of flares that we're able to toss out during these hives. It helps out a crap ton with this. I just threw a flare and then boom, as soon as I throw out another random supplies, I get a flare out of it. That is how common it is to get these flares. It is ridiculous the amount of chance that you get on flares with this. So I really recommend on all your point of contact score runs to be running those random supplies. You need at least 1 person running those random supplies because they help out a crap ton in the end. So this hive was a basic perfect. They have very easy spawns on this hive, so it's really easy to control. A few come out of that side, but still it's easy because we have ferals. We can see where they're coming from, so we know exactly what to do. For this hive, we have a very unfortunate challenge with this, but we managed to pull through because of flares and a little bit of strategy what we did. So you see right here, we kinda I just took that sentry gun right underneath their noses and just was able to put it on this pool. This pool is the easiest place to get the trap kill, so what I did was I threw a flare there, put a sentry gun there, so that way there's two things, including me, that will help confuse the AI, that will cause scorpions and hunters and scouts to go into them, and it makes this challenge a breeze. I use my knife in order to push them, that way it could be easier kills for us. And I make sure someone's activating the trap for me, because I'm still trying to make sure that all of them go into it and lure them all. So I use my sentry gun and my tank ability, and we finish the challenge easily. This challenge done on certain hives will be a lot harder, but with the use of flares, sentry guns, and tank ability, this was a really easy challenge. The only hard part for this hive is the fact that he only can kill stuff that are in this barn, and the issue with that is that we're killing stuff in this barn because we're scared of them touching the drill. So that is our main concern. We don't want anything touching the drill, and we're just constantly killing stuff that get near him, but those are the only kills he can get. So getting a perfect teamwork on this run can be kind of hard. If you want to use a strategy, what I would recommend to help improve for this, to help get perfect teamwork if you struggle, is to activate the 2 electric traps right in front of the barn. Notice how I threw another random supplies and instantly got a flare. These random supplies are a godsend. You must have them. I don't know if I'm putting enough stress on this, but random supplies are amazing for score runs. So the rest of this hive goes relatively smoothly. As soon as I see the rhino, I activate my tank ability just to make sure he doesn't go and attack the drill. I think he landed 1 hit on the drill from the ground pound, because that does have a area of effect. So it does more than just 1 hit on me. It hits multiple targets it can hit. So is kind of annoying when this happens. But some stuff are out of your reach. You cannot always maintain everything. So that again was basically next to a perfect hive. We did lose basically 1,000 score though, almost, off of that drill protection, just from the 3 or 2 damage that it took. It didn't take much damage, and that literally hurt the score a lot. So drill protection should be one of your #1 worries. So this challenge is really easy. This hive goes really fast, so you want to make sure that he's doing a lot of damage. And you can see that cliffside on the left. That cliffside on the left is a very good spawn trap spot, and you want to make sure, as the grenade turret user and the relic user, that he can see a lot of the spawns. So we're letting him get a bunch of the kills. If you see that I'm very hesitating with my kills, I only kill them if they get close to the drill, because the drill is my #1 thing to guard. Also notice how it got a little bit hectic, and he needed a grenade turret, so what I decided to do was I activated my tank ability to make sure not many aliens could touch the drill if they were going to, and I could safely put down a grenade turret for him. if you can see here, what's gonna happen though is a little bit of bullshit that happened in the run. You can see it, the drill's at 100. Nothing is near it, but that scorpion gas was a little bit too close, and then boom, it drops to 98 and then 97 immediately thanks to 100, and that kind of killed the drill protection on the game, and that was 1,000 score alone basically from that drill protection that was taken away from us. So that kind of hurt us in the long run. If we had a trophy system, that would have helped a ton, but unfortunately the random supplies wasn't being nice to us. It was only giving us flares, but that is still pretty good. And then this challenge. Look at the challenge we got for this last hive. We probably got one of the hardest challenges for the last hive to get a good score on. So you can see my job during this hive was just to spam the hunters with a few pistol bullets to try and build up the accuracy as fast as possible. The Grotch is probably the best weapon to use for building up pistol because the fire rate cap is pretty high because it's an automatic gun. In addition, it has a surprisingly low amount of recoil, it feels like, and you can tap it perfectly. I feel like when I use the P226, it has a little bit too much damage, and I feel like it has a lot of recoil. So what I'm going to be doing throughout this run is I'm going to focus a lot on my sentries, being facing the drill and facing the cliff. A big thing is that cliff needs to be guarded, because that is the only place where Assault cannot hit. He is going to be in that corner by the drill. He can guard the drill and all these spawn points for the hunters and scorpions, but he cannot watch the cliff that's right behind him. I see the accuracy is getting really low, so I'm getting scared, and what I'm basically doing is I'm asking teammates to drop me money, but we're running really low on money, so I have to keep getting kills, and I'm going to be spending it all on random supplies. I'm picking up my teammates' money, mainly just to throw out random supplies. I'm not worried about the drops for my teammates, because Assault Clutch, we're going to get enough drops either way, and I was lucky enough to got a flare out of that, because we need as much flares to help build up the accuracy as possible, because I'm the only one with a bulldog, so I'm the only one who can actually guard the drill and still shoot without hurting the accuracy. So right here, I'm just maintaining the accuracy. I'm trying to increase that as high as possible so we have some leeway, but it is kind of hard to do this. It is a very difficult challenge for this run. We try to protect the drill as much as we can. We'd rather have a few, we'd rather have the accuracy drop a little bit and risk not getting the challenge, because we know we're gonna get the challenge either way. We'll have to get it. But we probably got the hardest challenge possible for the last time. There's no challenge that will be harder than this. The leopard will be easy, even because we have barrels, but nothing will be harder than the challenge, 50% accuracy. The weird part was that I kind of jinxed it during the run. I was like, well, we're having a beautiful run so far. The only thing that could ruin it if we get a bullshit challenge. Have we had 50% accuracy yet? That was kind of like, I think that was the exact thing that I said during the run, and then boom, we put down the drill, and I'm pretty sure someone cursed at me. I forget who, but yeah. So don't call out the what could go wrong, because if it can go wrong, it will go wrong. Isn't that Murphy's Law? If it can go wrong, it will go wrong. But yeah, so it was a really difficult challenge to get through, but we're maintaining pretty decent drill protection. It did drop to 96, but shit is gonna hit the fan when you have a shitty challenge like this. I'm trying to spam rand supplies as much as I can. We had the idea that basically we don't need dropping money for him. We need to be dropping money for me so I could throw down some random supplies, so that way we can build accuracy. I'm running ahead of all the enemies, so that way I could hit the spawn points and still be guarding everything. We got another flare out of the random supplies, so that was really nice, and I can build it up for a little bit. We did one mistake, which was that we killed the Rhino too fast. What we should have done was that we should have let me use my tank upgrade on the Rhino and let me spam my pistol on it with Weapon Specialist, and that would have raised the accuracy a shit ton. But unfortunately, we didn't think of that before it happened. We just killed it too fast. The accuracy is kind of slowing down in its drop. We shouldn't be worrying about too much now, but it's still a little bit scary because it's at 55%. We only have 5% to lose on it. This hive, he ends up losing around 2,000 score on it, which is a lot, and it's all due to drill protection because we managed to do the challenge somehow. It was really lucky based on what we got off the random supplies. The random supplies had to give us flares to use it. I think we had a total of 4 flares though to help us build accuracy on it. So that means we got 2 minutes of just shooting them in without any consequences to help build us some accuracy. So here comes the run out. We end up using the feral escape glitch by using the grenade turret on the other side of the fence. We would not have done this at all if we didn't have to. Assault Clutch had a legitimate 761k, so I think that's the highest recorded out there without the glitch. So he would have had #1 spot either way, but we had to do it with the glitch just because there was another 792 out there, so we had to beat that because that is impossible to beat without the glitch. You need the glitch in order to get that extra around 30 to 40k worth of extra score from just escaping faster. A big thing is the route that you take in order to escape faster. Usually we would have our medic run. He's going up the stairs, you see that, because it is a bit of a faster route because it's all about how fast you get to the grenade turret. Because the faster you get to that grenade turret, the faster the meteor will drop on the second side because you're triggering the spawn for the actual meteor to drop. So he did that really fast, which helped us out a lot on the long run. It is a really hard, this run out is worth a lot of score. You fuck up a little bit on the run out, the whole game could be lost in a matter of seconds. It's kind of like the Exodus Medusa fight. A little screw up could actually screw over the game a crap ton. So you want to make sure you overthrow the ferals for this. You gotta make sure everything's happening. I will be showing at the end of this video legitimacy of Assault Clutch having a 761k. I'll show a snapshot. I'll show a little video of his score towards the end of the game, and so that way you can see everything that happened. So you can see that he escaped at a right time for a non-glitched escape, and you will see that he actually had a legitimate 761k. That way you guys won't say, oh, you only did it because of the glitch. No, he was able to get a good score without the glitch, so don't worry about that. What ended up happening was though that Volt kind of got a little bit fucked over by Hunter, so we are a little bit slow on that escape, and that kind of did hurt his score a little bit. We probably could have had a 795 or higher, but unfortunately the Hunters kind of screwed over his running, so he wasn't able to do that. He wasn't able to get there as fast as he could. But that is it for the run, guys. Hope you guys enjoy. Rare proof of legitimacy of Assault Clutch will be at the end of the video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and have a great day, guys.